All right, YouTube, hello. I was supposed to get this video out like days ago, but I got pretty busy with finals and school and whatever. So next time I will try to get more on point with the whole dropping of videos. With that being said, I'm just gonna get right into the story. There will be spoilers for this review. I mean, it's DLC. It kind of comes free if you buy the game, so I'm sure you know exactly what happens already. But I'm just gonna, yeah. Intermission picks up in between chapter 7 and 8 of the main game. Although we don't play as any of the characters from the main game. You see, in this DLC, we play as a character named Yuffie, a teenage ninja spy for the country of Wutai, which we heard about in the main game mostly from Shinra, due to them actively suggesting that Avalanche, the eco-terrorists, are in cahoots with Wutai, which this DLC actually kind of proves is true. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Our story begins on top of a wall on the outskirts of Sector 7 as we see Yuffie surveying the area when she unexpectedly falls and crashes through a shed due to some pesky pigeons. It is also here when where Yuffie informs us on her plans to meet with a member of Avalanche that is wearing a Moogle beanie, but is nowhere to be seen. So she heads into the junkyard using the Moogle posters as a guide. It is here in the junkyard where we are introduced to Yuffie's unique combat. You see, I would describe Yuffie as a hybrid between Aerith and Tifa. You see, like Tifa, her base attacks are fast and very much are close range. However, when she activates her heavy attack, she seamlessly switches to long-range combat and very much behaves kind of like Aerith, but is much faster when unleashing attacks. And in this mode, when her weapon is away from her and it's attacking an enemy by pressing triangle again, or in my case, X, since I am playing on the Switch too, it immediately calls you to the enemy and activates close quarters combat, which can be useful to get out of tight binds. I also love using the elemental ninjutsu abilities because it's like practically using the elemental materia on a weapon. Although this ability doesn't last forever, it does go away after a while and you have to reactivate it. Now, as we make our way through the junkyard, we run into one of the cloaked men from the main game. You know, like the one we almost attacked in the beginning of the game as Cloud. It is also here where we learn some new gameplay slash puzzle mechanics that are unique to this DLC. You see, Yuffie can throw her ninja star at long range targets to either destroy boxes, hit a button, or dislodge an obstacle to make it fall. We then come across another cloaked dude. Though this one was being attacked by these dogs, which I don't know what the fuck Shinra's been feeding them, but they are genuinely the most difficult and strongest enemies to fight in this game, period. Throughout the entirety of this DLC, they were the only ones I consistently lost to. But after a few attempts, I did manage to beat them and saved this ungrateful prick. Then made my way into Sector 7, met my contract, and head off to Avalanche's secret hideout. On the way there, we actually see Wedge, Biggs, and Jesse yapping, though we aren't able to interact with them. Who we are able to interact with, though, is Neo. No Mayo. Oh gosh, made myself cringe. We also meet Billy Bob and Polk. Now, our contract then leaves us to familiarize us with the others while they go off and do some job. Now, it is here where Polk challenges us in a new minigame called Fort Condor. Now, the way I look at it, Fort Condor is like this universe's Clash Royale. Hell, just look at it. They both even have the same arena layout. The main objective of this game is quite literally to take out the opponent's 3 towers, or as this game calls it, the HQs. You do this by deploying units, whether it be range, close, or defensive, which are also close quarter units, though they just have more health and attack a bit slower, I believe. You also have special abilities at your disposal, such as fire, which can be used on enemy units and towers. And with the cure ability, you can heal your towers and units. However, you can only use these abilities like once, so you have to be smart when you use them and how you use them. So once we beat Polk, we are allowed to explore Sector 7. It is here where we can challenge Jesse, Wedge, and the crackhead Roach, who Loki has an unhealthy obsession over Cloud, to a game of Fort Condor. And once we beat them, we are finally able to challenge the Grand Master, the final challenger, Chadley, to a game. And Loki, Chadley, he lives up to his name. Genuinely the greatest Fort Condor player I've ever played. It took me 10 tries, 10 attempts to finally beat him. Other than Fort Condor, we can also talk to this turtle man who tasked us with getting these flyers from all over town and bring it to him, and that'll give us points to like buy stuff from his shop. There's nothing really that important. He's funny though. Back at the HQ, our partner Sonon finally shows up. Now, Sonon is a much older and experienced ninja / spy than Yuffie. He's also quite devastated about his sister, and rightfully so after what Shinra did, but enough of that for now. Neo then takes us to get some fake IDs, but on the way there, we run into Corneo's men, trying to force girls, Neo being one of them, into becoming one of Corneo's potential wives. So naturally, we step in, and it is here where the new synergy mechanic is introduced. Now, this synergy mechanic is quite different from the one in Rebirth. In this game, by pressing left trigger, a synchronized mode turns on, which allows for Yuffie and Sonon to launch attacks on a singular target at the same time, together, which builds up this gauge, giving you access to 2 new abilities. Well, not new, but upgraded abilities. Once we whoop their ass, we then go to the meetup and buy 2 out of 4 fake IDs from this totally trustworthy, upstanding citizen. Though not everything has gone to plan, you see our original contact has gone into trouble, so we gotta go run through this factory to save him. In the factory, we run into more of these hoe-ass dogs, though this time they weren't so bad. We then solve some puzzles, go down this cool minigame track thing, breaking boxes, and then go up against our first real boss, which I'll admit, I'd be lying if I said that I enjoyed this fight. It was kind of mid. It felt like I was just spamming the same attack over and over and over again, but nonetheless, we beat the bot and head to Shinra HQ. Once there, we bumble and tumble through a crowd of people and somehow conveniently end up in the same elevator as Scarlet, the head of the weapons department and the same woman who was behind the death of Sonon's sister. Scarlet's fine ass does clock who we are pretty fast and tries to rage bait us, but we are too locked in for her, so she just locks the door behind her and makes us take a detour, causing us to get into a fight with some bots and a chainsaw dude. Nothing special really, but not long after that, we make it into this room. I don't know the exact words to describe this place, so yeah. But by now, I'm sure y'all have clocked the fact that I've not really talked about the level designs, so since we are in the final area, let's talk about it. In this DLC, there's really only 3 new sections. The junkyard in the beginning, which serves really well as a tutorial section. It's pretty short as well, and it's visually distinct from the others. The second section is the factory, and in my opinion, it is the most visually distinct out of all 3. I also think that this section has the best implementation of the new gameplay mechanics built into the level design / puzzle design. The only downside of this section is the boss fight, honestly. Now, the third section, this section is decent, though there is much to be desired. You see, this section, this level, is broken up into 3 floors with nearly identical layouts, objectives, and visuals. Though one thing this section does include is this minigame from the main game, which is pretty fun, so there's that. But enough of this yap. Let's go back into the... Once at the 3rd floor, we enter this room with 3 tubes in it, though there's not enough power, so we gotta go back out and turn on these 3 reactors. Once that's done, we can return to the room and take a look at the materia in the middle tube, though we can't admire it for long because these 2 dark troopers come in looking for a fight, and not gonna lie, I'm shocked I was able to take them down first try. I mean, look how much health they left me with. Not much, right? And then the door leading into the next room is unlocked, and we are put through a 4-round arena that actually allows us to pick our enemies, which is cool. But once we get through them, we immediately start a boss fight with Scarlet, which I'm a little conflicted about because it was certainly fun, but I think it was a little too short and certainly too easy. But I suppose it's fine since immediately after this fight, we get into another fight with this emo angel dude whose name I certainly did not forget. Though this section would be better if I didn't have to do the VR fights right before this. But yeah, we do eventually beat him.
Psych!
Yeah, so we don't actually beat him. We more give him a quick break, but yeah. RIP Sonon, you won't be forgotten, big bro. To conclude, this DLC is great. I think it's better than the main game. The story I actually enjoyed, and I actually was immersed. Now, yeah, Sonon's whole story thingy was a little boring. I mean, he's kind of like generic character, you know, but it's fine. I honestly think the characters in this DLC are better than the ones in the main game. Scarlet as a villain, I liked her better than Heidinger. Heidinger was just generic, over the top villain from like an anime. I'm not an anime guy, so like it's not my thing. Same thing with like Hojo, not my thing. Barrett in the previous game, in the main game, I didn't like him. He was too over the top for me, and I found him annoying. Just overall, I like the characters in this DLC a little better than the ones in the main game. When it comes to the combat, I think the combat was really fun. I think Yuffie has the best combat out of all the characters you can play because it's fun. The synergy thing, the synergy is definitely better in Rebirth, but in this game, it's decent enough. It's you know, it's decent. That's all I can say. Fort Condor, great minigame. Shame that it didn't really come back as strong in Rebirth, because I actually like enjoyed this minigame quite a lot. Hopefully in part 3 of whatever, they do bring Fort Condor back as like an actual minigame and not like a side quest thing. But yeah, those are my thoughts. Great game. Now the next game, the next review is gonna be Resident Evil 0. Now I do have 2 hours of footage recorded for that game of that game. I don't know what I'm gonna turn that video into. I don't know if I'm gonna do a gameplay video, just post as like a gameplay video, or like a first impressions video of like my first 2 hours, and I just do like a little review kind of that, or if I do like a hybrid between, it's both a first impressions video and it's both like a gameplay video. I don't know. I want to experiment with that. I want to experiment with that and do something a little different. I don't know. Any ideas will be helpful, I guess. The Resident Evil 0 review will be out. Well, it won't be out for a while, I'll be honest with that. It's probably gonna be like 2 weeks. Because surprisingly, these videos take long, actually. And I will try to stick to like a more consistent thing, upload. Because I know with this video, this video was supposed to come out like a week ago, but things didn't align, and yeah, whatever. Yep. Review next. I don't know.